Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING. Get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator exclusively on DRF Bets. Dan Illman might be at race number 9 at Keeneland on Saturday, one of two graded stakes races on the program. It's the grade 2 Elkhorn on the turf. We're going 1.5 miles, 3 turns round. Nice field for $350,000. Let's take a peek. And Mike, it's very nice to see Channel Maker back in the entries. He has been a consistent campaigner for a very long time. He's going to make his 8-year-old debut. He's banked $3.4 million, and at 2-1, I don't want any part of him.
I agree with most of that. Listen, I'm probably not gonna take 2-1 on him either. I think he's a deserving favorite in this race, though, just based on his overall body of work. He's very clearly the best, I'll put that in quotation marks, the best and most accomplished horse in this field. And if he runs one of his good races, he's going to be a handful in here. It's just very interesting to me, though, Dan, that he's been more of a speed type lately in his career. And this is that rare, long distance turf race with plenty of speed.
You really hit the nail right on the head. It's a perfect segue to our Timeform US pace projector. And it's one of the reasons why I'm kind of fading Channel Maker at his shortest price. You've mentioned that he likes to get close to the pace as he's gotten older. 2 Emmys is a speed horse. Phantom Currency is a speed horse. Tiberius Mercurius is a speed horse. Now, maybe it won't pan out. We've seen that happen all the time, especially in longer distance turf races in North America. But I have to think that the pace is going to be fast for 350. And maybe that works against Channel Maker as he goes a demanding distance off a layoff.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of handicapped the race that way. The more I looked at it, the more I just felt like, obviously the 3, the 4, and Channel Maker, the 5. I think, all 3 of them are sort of logical contenders in this race. But the more I looked at it, the more I felt like maybe I need to start looking in a different direction, because this pace could really compromise all 3 of those horses.
And while Michael Maker ran the number 1 Bema's Boy for an $80,000 tag in his last 2 races, I think the fact that he ran well in both of those races, he might have the right running style for this race, and the fact that he stretches out now to a distance where he's very comfortable makes him an interesting horse. Maybe not at the 5-1 morning line, but I can see him drifting a bit simply because he's taking a big step up in class. Now, he missed all of 2021, but he ran some nice races in 2020, including that Connolly, where I didn't really think the trip worked out for him.
Yeah, I saw those things too, Dan. I'm with you as far as that morning line price goes. I don't think I would take 5-1 on him. I don't mind him stretching back out for this race, though. He's got a great post in here to save some ground, and he's just going to sit off of this pace, hope it gets fast, and then just try to rally into it. There are ways to, make a very logical case for this horse. I can't say that I love either of his 2 races since he started back. I didn't necessarily see excuses either time for him in those races, but maybe he'll just take a step forward here.
I just am hoping the excuses for Bema's Boy are maybe he needed the race off that long layoff. The last time he went 1.5 miles, he won the Pan Am. Of course, that was back in 2020. Sole Volante is the number 2. It's been a long and winding road for Sole Volante to get to this point. He started his career as a stakes winner on turf. Then he won the Sam F. Davis and was second in the Tampa Bay Derby. Heck, he ended up running in the Belmont Stakes and Kentucky Derby during the COVID year of 2020. But he's fallen on hard times recently, Mike, and the connections are going to try to stretch him out and hope that getting back to a longer distance improves his performance. A fast pace would certainly improve his performance.
Yeah, it feels like that's what he really wants. I actually, save his last race where they, dropped him back in distance off a little bit of a layoff. And listen, it was another race that was sort of dominated up close, and he was way back out of it and couldn't really make an impact. That's sort of been the story of his life. Going back to some of those races, towards the end of last year, though, Dan, I mean, they ran him in the Sycamore. Over this course and distance, he had no chance in there, a race where the closers were way up against it. In the Fort Lauderdale, when they dropped him back, he got wired again by Doswell. They came back in the McKnight 1.5 miles. I actually liked what Leparoux did that day because he rated him, and then he moved him up very early, got him into mid-pack in that race. And this horse just sort of raced on without making a real impact. I don't think he's impossible in here at a big price, Dan, but he's got to pull the right trip.
2 Emmys, the number 3. The question is, can he pull the right trip? He loves to be forwardly placed. He, of course, made his name when winning the Grade 1 Mr. D last year, going 1.25 miles. He beat Domestic Spending, the nation's top turf horse at the time. The problem was, look at the fractions of that race. He went 1/2 in 52 and 2, 3/4 in 16 and 3, and he committed theft in broad daylight. And something similar happened last time out in the Muniz Classic, going 1 1/8 miles. He went to the lead, they left him alone, and he sprinted on home. Now, he's likely to make the lead again. He's got plenty of fast races, but they're going to be going a lot faster this time, you would think.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't take him. We'll see what kind of price he winds up being at the end of the day here, and maybe it'll be a fair one. You just want to take a shot with a horse who is good enough to beat this field. He's run several really nice races, but even going back to the Sycamore here last October, Dan, over this distance, not a fast pace at all. He was in control of that thing, and he got run down at the end. He can win this race. I would never take a short price on him.
Trainer Brian Lynch did a phenomenal job with the 4 Phantom Currency, getting him to win the Grade 3 Appleton last time out off a year-plus layoff. We were worried about the layoff. We were worried about that mile distance being sharp because in his prior lifetime, Phantom Currency was a horse that was winning the McDermott, going 1 mile 3/8 on the lead. Let's watch Phantom Currency in the Grade 3 Appleton going 1 mile. He went to the front. He set a rated pace. He was very, very game. He was bet like he was going to be ready. He was ready.
Yeah, he was. Really good ride here from Irad, too. He broke this horse very sharply from the gate to make sure he got the lead. And then once he got the lead, he just never relinquished it. You can see here from the replay, Dan, nobody is really closing in this race, and he's going to manage to hold on. I wasn't blown away by the performance. I want to give him plenty of credit just for winning off with a long layoff, going 1 mile and stretching back out. It's probably what he really wants to do. Another horse, he wants to be on the lead. We'll see how fast he has to go.
Billy Mott really tested Channel Maker during the early part of 2021, following a 3rd place finish in the Breeders' Cup Turf, coming on the heels of 2 Grade 1 stakes races in New York. Mott shipped him overseas, ran him in Saudi Arabia, ran him in Dubai. And once he got back to the States, I wonder if those long trips really took their toll, because he ran okay in New York, but not to the level that we had seen in the past. In the Breeders' Cup Turf, he loomed boldly, turning into the stretch, Mike. Yabir kicked everybody down. I think that race looks a lot better than it does on paper.
I agree. I think he ran a really underrated race at the Breeders' Cup. I'm with you. When it came back from overseas last summer, I didn't really necessarily like any of his first 3 performances on the way back. He was 55-1, I guess, in the Breeders' Cup for a reason, Dan. He ran a super underrated race that day. That was a very strongly run race. The pace was fast. He chased it all the way. He actually took over off the quarter pole just for a very brief instant, and then the closers just totally overwhelmed him. But he ran a really good race last time. Again, I think he's the best horse in the race. It doesn't mean I'm going to bet him in here as the favorite, but I do think he's the best horse.
The 6th, Tiberius Mercurius, another one trained by Michael Maker. This is a horse that is in good form. He's won 2 out of his last 3 races. The problem is the 2 wins came on synthetic. In lifetime, he is 1 for 17 on turf. He is going out for Maker. He's part of the pace. The problem is there are other classier pace horses in this race. This horse really has to improve.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a big problem that this horse, his 2 wins are on synthetic and on the lead as well. Races where he just got absolutely loose, which can happen here. I want to see what kind of price he is, Dan, because if you're someone like me who has been a huge Tiberius Mercurius fan, maybe for no apparent reason at all, because this horse never wins, but I've loved this horse from a long time ago. It's worth pointing out that Maker actually had this horse for 1 start all the way back in 2019. He ran great that day. Maker stretched him out. He just got run down by a Chad Brown favorite at the end. Maker's got him back now. He stretched him back out in distance. He's gotten this horse good again. I wouldn't take 12-1. If he's like twice that price, which I don't think is out of the realm, I'm going to use him.
Do you believe he's rateable?
Yeah. I do believe he's rateable, especially when you go back and look at his other turf races, Dan. He's never been on the lead in those races.
Let's talk about the 7. Cullum Road is 30-1 on the morning line, and like Tiberius Mercurius, is coming off of a good performance on a synthetic surface. Now, he's got more of a winning profile than Tiberius Mercurius on turf. I'm not sure whether he has the back races that Tiberius Mercurius has, at least not recently. He's run some big stakes back in 2019, 2020. Maybe he gets the right setup in here, Mike. We're going to try to stretch him all the way out.
Yeah, I think they're probably just going to sit and make one run with this horse and see if he can handle the distance. It's a pretty big ask. I mean, this is, it's not, I don't think you're going to, look at this field and go, all the top marathon turf horses are in here. But it's still a pretty strong field. And this horse, he's in pretty tough against horses like this.
I really liked what I saw from Bama Breeze at Keeneland 2 starts back in the Grade 3 Sycamore. He was dismissed at 20-1 that day. He was just slammed leaving the gate and lost a lot of early ground. He must have been 4 or 5 wide on the backstretch the final time. And he understandably flattened out, but he was in still with a big look at about the 8th pole. Now, you and I were going to bet him with enthusiasm in the Grade 3 McKnight, and I guess the pace just didn't come back to him. He didn't run either. Maybe the layoff now had something to do with it. Getting back to Keeneland, this is a horse, considering a fast-paced scenario, he is a very interesting horse.
Yeah, that's how I looked at him too. Like you, I thought he would run better in the McKnight last time. It was another race that was sort of dominated, sort of up close. He still didn't really do a ton of running in there, which I found disappointing. But just the way you laid out his Sycamore is exactly how I feel about him. I thought he ran great that day in a race where he had no chance. And I'd be willing to give him the opportunity to rebound here at a good price.
It's all about pace for the number 9, Another Mystery. It's all about whether he's good enough. He's going to get pace. I'm not sure whether he's good enough. He ran in the Connolly 2 starts back, and that was a situation where not only did he get pace, he got a really good toe into it by the horse he dead heated with, the horse that maybe doesn't want to beat you, Fantasioso, and maybe waited for Another Mystery to come get him on the line. That being said, Another Mystery ran a perfectly fine race. Now, last time out in the Muniz, he didn't get the pace. 2 Emmys took him gate to wire. This horse is going to get pace in this race. He has run well at this longer distance, and he's got to be higher than 6-1. I know people love betting Pratt. He's got to be higher than 6.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't take that price on him. I thought he would drift off the line. I'm with you. He needs the right pace set up and a clean trip into it. I liked his Connolly. He won that Fairgrounds race back in November, the minor stakes race, another race that set up great for him with a solid pace that he could rally into, and he's supposed to have that here.
Friends, remember to subscribe to the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel. You'll have immediate access to all of DRFTV's video offerings. Top pick time. And Mike, we want prices in this race. I think the shorter priced horses in this race, the Phantom Currencies, the Channel Makers, these are horses that have speed and might cancel each other out. The 2 Emmys, Bama Breeze is a horse that's going to be coming from out of it. Another Mystery is going to be coming from out of it. And I think the price will be right.
Exactly how I looked at it, Dan. I mean, I'm not obviously any one of those 3, the horses that you mentioned who are supposed to be up front. I mean, they could obviously win this race. I'm hoping they go at it. The pace projector's right, and the closers have a real chance.
But as you can see, folks, wide open. We've got 8 different selections in this race. 8, 5, 6, 2 for Mike, 9, 3, 1, 5 for me. 2 graded stakes races on tap at Keeneland on Saturday. Best of luck.